Good evening to India.
A very, very good morning to all Brazil people, those who are watching this program. Very, very good evening to all Indians. Good day to all other part of this global world. This is the joint effort of India and Brazil in terms of success in higher education is the topic for today. Our speakers panel is Dr. Kiran Chaudhary, who is a assistant professor in Shivaji College of Commerce, New Delhi. Dr. Leonardo, who is a professor of engineering from Brazil, and Dr. Chai Chin Tan, he is the professor of Rajmangala University of Technology in Thailand. Global Edu-Leader Forum is a forum which focuses on understanding, tagline, connecting head to heart. In entire life, we keep study. But once we go into profession, we find different challenges. That is not only knowledge, that is matter of skill. During this webinar of Global Edu-Leader Forum, we try to touch few important aspects, which is more than knowledge, how students are successful in their life, especially in higher education, getting good marks or proving their skill on the actual ground in their life. What is the parameter of success? Earning good money or helping people, creating a global awareness among the people, or cultivating the cultural value in their professional and personal life together. This is the outline of the talk today. I would love to invite Dr. Kiran, since you are dealing with Department of Commerce. Normally, economics and commerce deal with money, and money. So success in life for higher education student is a money or life. I will welcome to you on this note, how much money is important and how much life management is important, since you are a professor of management and commerce. So over to you and welcome to you for next 5 to 7 minutes.
Okay. Thank you, Professor. It's my privilege to be a part of your forum. First of all, I am going to highlight the higher education system in India. Higher education system plays an important role for the country overall development, which includes industrial, social, economic development. Indian higher education system, as we know, is the third largest in the world. The role of Indian higher educational institutes like colleges and universities in the present time is to provide quality-based education in the field of education, research, to empower youth for self-sustainability. It also means to gain higher educational qualification by the teaching learning process in the higher educational institutes like colleges and universities. Moreover, higher education imparts knowledge, develops the student's ability, and also gives him or her a wider perspective of the world around. Higher education becomes input to the growth and development of industry, and also seen as an opportunity to participate in the development process of individual through a flexible education model. Next to China and United States of India, United States of America, India has the third largest higher education system in the world in terms of size and its diversity, and largest in the world in terms of number of educational institutions in India. As we know, encouragement of higher education for our youth is critical to the success of our collective futures. Higher education begins post-secondary education in learning institutions. The completing of higher education results in a degree, diploma, or certificate. The institutions that provide education of higher studies are universities, various professional schools. It also includes the field of law, medicine, business, music, art, social sciences, theology, and many more. Higher education also comprises teacher training schools, junior colleges, technology institutes. And obviously there are various issues and challenges in Indian higher education sector, but there are various initiatives taken by the government of India, like educational quality upgradation and inclusion program that has been recently launched. This is basically a 5-year version plan to improve the quality and accessibility of higher education over the next 5 years. It also doubled the gross enrollment ratio in the higher education and positioned at least 50 Indian institutions among the top 1,000 global universities. The second step taken by the Indian government is revitalizing infrastructure and system in education by 2022. Qualitatively upgrade the research and academic infrastructure in India to global best standards by 2022. Make India into an education hub by making available high quality research infrastructure in Indian higher educational institutions. It also allows access to funding to institutions like central universities and newly created institutes of national importance without creating any additional burden to the students. Higher Educational Financing Agency has been tasked to mobilize 1 lakh crores for this initiative. And UGC learning outcome-based curriculum framework is also included in this, giving graded autonomy to the universities and colleges. Global Initiative for Academic Network and All India Survey on Higher Education. We have also National Institution Ranking Framework, which was developed in 2015, and ranking are published annually since 2016. It includes 5 broad parameters like teaching learning resources, graduation outcomes, outreach and inclusivity, and perception. Creating world-class university. 20 university, 10 each from public and private sector. This is basically a draft of our national education policy. In national education policy, we include tier 1, 2, and 3. Tier 1 includes research universities. Tier 2 includes teaching university. And it also increased focus on vocational and professional led education. Performance-linked funding and incentives is also included in this. As a teacher of commerce and economics management, I would always prefer students should be learn about the life management. Money is important, but money is not everything. We have to manage our life and know how we happy from the limited sources. We always don't move for a money. We always want to manage our life happily with limited number of resources. As a teacher of, you also said that I am a teacher of commerce and management. I would always prefer that student manage their life happily.
Great.
Money is important.
Great.
But money is not everything.
So, Dr. Kiran, I think agreed with you. I will come to the second round for a closing comment. You said there is a lot of infrastructure development which is taking place in India, and a lot of new things are happening to enhance the quality education and at large scale quality research work. Government has revived their new education policy 2020, but at last, money is not everything. Money matters, but at the same time, it is not more than a happy life. Now moving to Dr. Leonardo from Brazil. You are professor of engineering. In your life, technology and infrastructure is everything? Or do you think life or happiness is beyond this technology, and how higher class students, especially in their career, they cannot talk to the machine, they can work with the machine. They cannot manage their happiness of life with the machine. Machine is machine, robot is robot. So what is your view on this point? Over to you and welcome to you, Dr. Leonardo.
Okay, thank you for the invitation to talk here with you. I was at first, a little bit scared because I'm a professor, but then after thinking a little bit about it, I was actually very happy to be free to talk with experience instead of talking about research results, which is usually what I'm used to in conferences. So this kind of freedom made me very happy as well. So as for your question, I have some perhaps controversial opinions on that, but first of all, I was very interested by your comments on matching the mind and the heart. I think that's incredibly important, not only after the student graduates, but during graduation. And that's one of the main key aspects that I try to bring into the classroom. I try to weed out those things that kill the passion of the student. So I used to have a teacher when I was an undergrad student that had great clarity on what the student has to do and what the professor has to do. And he would say this, he would put it like this. You as a student, he would say to us, you have one job pretty much as a student. Maybe if you work, that's another issue, but as a student, you have one job, which is after the class, you go home and you have to read the texts and you have to do the problem sets. And you might think, well, that's a difficult job. That's a hard job. And of course it is. But then you think about me as a professor. Me as a professor, my job is to convince you that when you get home, the best thing that you can do, the most interesting thing that you can do, is to get to read the text and do the problem sets. And when you think about it, you leave the class and you're looking straight at Jurandas. Jurandas, for context, is a bar across the building of electrical engineering that we studied. You're looking straight at this bar, and this bar was very busy after 10 p.m., which coincidentally is the time where the class is finished. Not saying there is cause and effect at hand here, but there was definitely some correlation there, right? So you go there, then you go home and you have the television, you have the video game, and you might as well not go home alone. Remember, we were all college students, so we're going to a party, chances are we're not going home alone and all the thing. How can we convince the students? How can we make them interested enough that they actually give up on all of these very fun entertainment solutions they have in the modern society, and they get what is very important, that you have to study, you have to do the work, you have to do the problem sets, you have to learn how to solve problems very much. And it's a little bit relation with machines, because one of the ways that we have to teach engineering is to give students some equations and boom, equation, right? Okay, so I explained the variables and now you solve this, and it's extremely tedious. You're giving the student an abstract problem that he maybe doesn't understand, and he has to go through the motion of doing tedious calculations to get a result that he perhaps doesn't know where he will apply, And the chances are, if he's doing calculations on long equations, some errors are in there because he's a human being. So I would argue, and that's where it gets a little bit controversial, that solving long equations, solving this difficult mathematical problem, not difficult, but this complicated mathematical problems, is not the task for an engineer. It's not a task for the student. It's a task for the machine. It's a task for the computer. And when I started to integrate this in the class, it freed up time in the class for the student to actually focus on hard problems, because mathematics is hard. Solving equations is not hard. It's boring, it's tedious, but it's not hard. You apply some kind of steps and you apply them every time, and every time you get the same results. There's no critical thinking required. There's no decision-making required. You just apply, go through the motions. But math is hard, right? It requires critical thinking. It's a complete abstraction of the world. And when we get this tedious part of the process and we introduce a little bit of computer assistance, it frees up the student to actually develop design skills, problem-solving skills, skills that actually require him to think. And then he goes to the computer and enters the equations. He, of course, has to understand the equations, but he doesn't have to solve them by hand. Right? And some criticism sometimes I hear about the way I teach is, what if the student doesn't have access to a computer? And I say, well, first of all, he has to understand the mathematics. So it's not like I'm telling you, well, you don't need mathematics. No, you need even more than if you're just solving simple equations. You need to understand the mathematics. But also, we live in a modern society. What are the odds that the student will not have a computer at hand, right? So I might answer this with, well, what if the student doesn't have pen and paper? Because odds are he will have a cell phone in his pocket, but he will not have pen and paper in his pocket. So actual skills that he will use in the actual world once he graduates, they have everything to do with our relation to machines, but how to use machines, right? To get rid of the part that maybe kills the passion about engineering, but retaining the part that is actually interesting, that makes us passionate, it makes us believe that we are doing something important that can change the world and all of that. So those are my thoughts on the matter.
I think Dr. Leonardo, you have touched my heart. Wonderful explanation.
Thank you.
A child can have a thought process who can solve the difficult equations of mathematics for the machine, not for human being. On this forum, my humble request and what I'm trying to bring out, that is not a controversy of the brain that can be calculated anywhere in the e-journals and papers. I want to bring the fact of the heartfelt experience. In number of time it has been seen, students are scoring very high marks, but they are not the real inventor. They cannot do the invention. They can be good with the calculation. They cannot be good in the calculation of life. During time of pandemic, we have observed mothers become a teacher, those who were sitting at home. Teachers has a different approach. They were not able to handle the students because students were away. They were far away from the classroom situation. And class 1 and 2, 5 to 6 years child has learned the technology which was being operated, Android phone, laptop, and whatever you say this. No one has taught the mathematics and physics to the grade 1 child, but their approach towards technology was just interest to get connected with the teachers, not with the content. What my teacher is talking, how my teacher is talking, am I missing my school? So this is, in fact, the idea of Global Edu-Leader Forum. We keep saying brain to heart distance physically is 12 to 18 inch, but we take entire life to get connected. Your brain is full of knowledge, but how much knowledge makes other people happy in their life? Because we all are human beings. If your teaching is not a passion, a machine or a computer can teach. Record your lecture and keep it forever while you're teaching every day. Once you add a human flavor, you keep changing your approach, dealing each students with the different strategy, different new innovative technique of your heartfelt emotions. This is the combined approach. Now my third speaker, Dr. Chai Chin Tan, who is a most experienced person, again dealing with Rajmangala University of Technology from Thailand. Dr. Chai Chin Tan, what is my objective connecting you? How we can balance technology and life together, especially in higher education. How students can be more human than machine. Welcome to you and over to you. I would love to you focus on this point.
Thank you, professors, and thank you, everyone. Well, I think we have to teach the students to know, what exactly is what is the function, utilities of a machine or a technology. So we have to really demonstrate to students that what machines can do, what kind of contributions they can offer to the society, what kind of what things they can help the society to solve the problem. So they, we can really let them look at, from the perspective of technologies or machine, and be able to realize that there are so many things that they can contribute to the society. A machine or technologies can contribute to efficiency, effectiveness, productivity, connectivity, connecting people to peoples, can do a lot of creative ideas, can do, for instance, programming or whatever that can integrate so many perspectives and view, to create something new and something very, very important to society. It could be like what I said, or furthermore, is to help the monitoring the diabetes and whatever. So through technologies and machines, we can really teach the students to realize the contribution perspective. That is number one. And the second thing is that I think we can, from what what you're mentioning, is that we can teach the students that when we involve with machines and the technologies, of course, there are a lot of challenges in the beginning, but we can overcome the challenges. We can overcome the challenges of be able to use the machine and be able to use the technologies. And that deals with persistencies, consistencies, engagement, social understandings, and collaboration, understanding some of these maybe mathematical equations or computational efforts, or the linkings, all these pneumatics and hydraulics and programmable logic controllers and things like that. And so what I'm trying to say is that apart from contribution, which we can use the machines and technologies to guide them and teach them, they can also deal with, they will be able to deal with challenges that when we are trying to utilize the machines and technology, we can teach them to be able to deal with challenges. That is very important, because at the end of the day, we have to teach them the characters. We have to teach them the attitude to deal with them. They cannot run away from challenges. And so that is second C, I would say, from your question. Challenges teach them a lot of the characters and attitudes to deal with that. Now the third thing, which is my last point on what you say, I would say that we can teach them competencies. Like I have said before, in order to be able to utilize the machines and technologies, there are a lot of things they have to learn and master the skills. not only the skills of understanding the computations and mathematics, or when you, for example, when you're trying to control the robotic arms, you not only have to understand the kinematics and dynamics of these arms, but also you have to be able to deal with students to students conversation. You should be able to deal with what if scenarios. What if we suddenly have when we deal with machines, what if suddenly somebody else pushed the hands into the zones of dynamics, the zone of interaction? What are you going to do? How are you going to prevent troubles? And so it teaches the competency in a more holistic way. So the third things we can teach the students in technologies and machine is teach them that you gotta find out all kind of you gotta master all kind of competencies, and the competencies are just like what I have just demonstrated. It could be cognitive competencies, it could be the way you engage, behavioral competencies, it could be how you feel with it. The more you can feel with the environment, with the interactions with the machine, the more you can work with the machine. If you don't have emotion to the machine, you're not able to deal, to innovate on the machine. So you can also teach the students to think, what kind of competency. So in conclusion, 3 C's. 1, contribution, we teach them. 2, we teach them challenges. 3rd, we teach them competency. So when we have challenges, we deal with the challenges through the competencies. That produce contribution. Thank you.
Excellent. I think this, which was looking for, once you contribute, once you face challenges and you have a courage to solve the challenges. This is not written in the book. Once you get failed with anything, what kind of formula are you going to utilize? Technology fails, it means you have to try it again. You have to overcome with the inner courage. Inner courage is not a mathematics equation which is inbuilt in your chips of brain. Your heart starts working. For example, if you jump in a water, you try to swim, or your swimming is inbuilt within you. It has been rightly said, especially in the small child age, once you throw a child in the water, he starts trying. So I would love to take a closing comment, Dr. Kiran. I was happy to take your point which you added in life. Money is not everything. So if you have to advise a single sentence to define success in higher education, as a closing comment, what you would like to advise to the students of commerce and management? Unmute yourself and then please answer.
Now I am audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
Always try their best in their life. Whatever they learn with full dedication. Even Hindi or English subject, even what they learn, with full dedication, they will learn all the subjects.
Great. So message from you is they must be dedicated towards the education, whatever they are learning.
Yes.
Dr. Leonardo, a beautiful combination by you, designing, problem solving, more than machine, critical thinking and overcoming. So what is your closing comment as a professor to the students, those who are looking for a success in life?
Well, I would like to join a little bit on your conversation of scoring high in the exams, right? I'm sure Dr. Keenan must be, sorry if I'm pronouncing wrongly your name, but you must be familiar with Goodhart's law, which is a very famous law on economics, that an index stops working once it becomes an objective. So if your objective is to score high on the exams, then using the exam score starts to be a bad index, starts to be a bad indicator of success. So my comment would be to have the objective of learning and being passionate, doing what you like, because if you do that, then this index, that is the score of the text, this will come naturally.
Great message, great message. Scoring high is not everything. Scoring high to a right direction. Dr. Chai Ching Tan, your closing comment on this aspect. What is the message to the students, those who are looking for success in the higher education?
Okay, according to, again, putting into the context of what I have just shared with you, the contributions from challenges to the competencies, the contribution, from perspective of contribution, I think that the success would be happiness. Happiness in the sense of helping everyone to reach. To be happy, to reach that goal. So whatever we do, such as technologies or whatever we do, will make everyone's happy and give this is very important, because when we're giving happiness to everyone in whatever we do, well, number one, we do not intervene negatively on others. Number two, and it gives us a very important psychological drive and motivation, because that happiness, giving happiness to others, is a psychological driving force within us. It will push us naturally. It's a natural psychological force that will push us naturally to want to contribute more and to contribute more and to contribute more and to deal with more challenges and to improve our competency. Yeah, that happiness. Yeah, thank you.
Great. I think today I feel extremely happy, because my aim and objective of this forum is fulfilled by all speakers, those who are on the screen. My special gratitude and thanks to Beatrice, who is taking lead and connecting this beautiful soul, making a bunch of flowers which can bring a good fragrance in the society. Honestly speaking, once we talk of heart, it is very hard to express. It is not as easy. You can write a complicated sentence in English, but once you have to translate, once you have to explain the meaning of your own experience. One day I can tell you one lie of a small student who was explaining, my father told me he is not at home. Father used to have excuses, so one uncle came and he rang the bell. What father has passed the wrong message to the boy? Tell my father is not here. He went and said, my father told me that he is not at the home. So a small child has honesty and dedication. I must say purity of heart. But once we grow, we start becoming diplomatic people in the world. And that creates the real problem. So closing comment by Dr. Beatrice, who is behind this show. She has always been very, very positive to connect people around the globe on a very, very noble cause, which is happiness. Over to you, Beatrice.
Good morning, good evening, everybody. I would like to thank to the speakers for sharing their experiences, because stored knowledge is of no value, right? The Global Edu-Leaders Forum, on behalf of its founder and president, S.K. Singh, I think you are right to choose to work with children. They are through. When we work with adults, however, we never know if what we are doing is pleasing the students, or if they are only in class to meet the university requirements. In this way, feedback is always doubtful. But I only achieved greater adherence to teaching at the time, which include activities where it started in the classroom and was completed at home with the help of children, younger siblings, brothers, and family. With simple activities, construction of course sheets, sales, price, construction of toys, and preparation, even sweets or cakes, allied to gamification. And now, as a complementary activity at the end of semester, students had the challenge of going to schools in their city and teaching children to plant trees and teaching a class on the environment, and make a video of these activities and give it to me. I had a full membership, so it was great. So little things can be bigger than we think. Thank you very much for your participation, Dr. Shai Tang, Leonardo, and Dr. Kiran, and all the viewers. Thank you.
Thank you, Beatrice. And I offer my invitation to Dr. Kiran. Register yourself, be with us, because lots to do in the society. Dr. Leonardo, in fact, I have seen you today as a more than machine. You are a human being, because you use the sentence, it is controversial, maybe my statement, but I respect that. This forum allow each individual, those who are thinking beyond this brain. And once you think beyond this brain, that is very near to your heart. We will be coming with the lots of topic, especially I'm looking for in year 2020, the all 17 sustainable goals of United Nations, which we wanted to practice to the students. I'll be sharing all details to Beatrice, and Beatrice, heart, join hand gratitude to you. You are taking this forum towards the right direction. Journey of GEL is incomplete without you all my viewers, all my junior GEL students, all my researcher, and each individual of this globe. I treat this globe as my family. It cannot be divided into Brazil, India, America, Thailand. These are the just small boundaries. We all are the creation of the God. He may be Jesus, he may be Allah, he may be Vaheguru, he may be anyone. We are dealing with emotions. We all have brains. We all have life. We all have emotion. This emotional connect of GEL is making us different. I hope